Show me my room, Evan said. Case Unit 3 hovered at his shoulder. The drone's lights flickered, translating. Human guest requests private quarters assignment.
Siley Vorn straightened. Her iridescent scales caught the habitat corridor's blue glow.
As host officer, she nodded once. Sharp. Precise. Follow, she said in clipped universal. Case Unit 3 echoed it in English. Evan grabbed his duffel and tech crate. He matched her stride. The station's hum vibrated through his boots. Air smelled metallic, laced with something floral from the vents. They turned at a junction. Saley pressed her palm to a panel. It scanned her ridges. A door hissed open. She stepped inside, gestured for him to follow. Evan crossed the threshold. The door sealed behind him. He froze. The space screamed personal. A low sleeping platform dominated one wall, draped in woven fibers that shimmered like her scales. Shelves held data slates and polished stones. A grooming station sat open with vials of iridescent gel.
Steam lingered from recent use. Her scent hung thick, musk and ozone.
This was no guest quarters. This was hers. Kesh, Evan said evenly. Tell her this is the wrong room. I need my assigned space. The drone whirred. Human guest reports quarters mismatch. Requests reassignment.
Siley's crest flared slightly. She crossed her arms.
Negative. Host protection protocol mandates guest confinement to officer quarters during night cycle. Station security elevated. Director Frail's order. Night cycle? Evan glanced at his wrist chrono. Local time hit lockdown in 10 minutes. Protocol? Look, I appreciate the hospitality, but this is your private space. I'll sleep in the corridor if I have to. Kesh Unit 3 buzzed. Human guest declines officer quarters. Proposes corridor alternative.
Saley's eyes narrowed.
Golden slits. Corridor exposes guest to unauthorized access. Protocol violation risks liability. Door seals now. She tapped the panel. Locks engaged with a heavy thunk. Evan's jaw tightened. He scanned the room. 15 by 20 feet. One door. No windows. Vents high on the walls. Her platform took half the floor. A work console hugged the opposite side. Fine. He dropped his duffel, dragged the tech crate to the corner, stacked them into a makeshift wall. Saley watched. Crest tilted. Guest constructs barrier? Evan pulled a roll of hazard tape from his kit. Standard engineer supply. He tore off a strip. Stuck it to the floor, ran it straight across the room, divided her platform from the console area. Clear line. My side, he said, pointing. Your side. We share the air but not the space. Case Unit 3. Translated. Sayeli's gaze flicked to the tape. She stepped closer. Towed the line. Did not cross. Human boundary ritual? The drone asked on her behalf. Common sense, Evan replied. Keeps things clear. She nodded. Once. Turned to her platform. Activated a glow panel. Soft light bloomed. Evan unpacked his sleep sack, unrolled it on his side, sat cross-legged, pulled out a protein bar, ate methodically. Saley shed her outer tunic, hung it on a hook. Underneath, a fitted vest clung to her lithe frame. Scales shifted colors, blue to violet, as she moved. She glanced at him, paused. Human consume solid mass without preparation? Evan swallowed. Field rations. Efficient. Case Unit 3 hovered between them. Query? Human dietary adaptation noted. She sat on her platform. Legs folded under her, pulled a data slate. Scanned it. Silence stretched. The station's hum filled it. Evan leaned back against his crate. Watched her from the corner of his eye. Her fingers danced over the slate. Precise. No wasted motion, but her crest twitched. Listening. He cleared his throat. Kesh, ask her why protocol locks guests in personal quarters. Drone relayed. Saley looked up. Protection. Past incidents. Rogue drones, hull breaches, officer quarters fortified. Guests vulnerable without escort. Makes sense, Evan said. Earth stations do similar for VIPs, but we usually give them their own bunk. Human stations separate. Her voice threw Kesh-held curiosity. Evan nodded. Privacy's big. Personal space means autonomy.
Kesh buzzed. Siley's crest smoothed.
Autonomy risks exposure. Vorn clan protects.
She set the slate aside, stood.
Approached the line. Stopped at its edge. Evan held still. Her warmth radiated across the tape, taller than him by a head, lean muscle under scales. Eyes locked on his. Human draws line. Honors it. She extended a hand. Palm up. 4 fingers, webbed slightly. He stood. Mirrored the gesture. No touch. Just acknowledgement. Trust starts small, he said. Cash translated.
Shh. Crest. Flared violet.
Approval? Night cycle deepens, she said. Rest. Evan lay back, stared at the ceiling panels. Her breathing slowed. Rhythmic. Flowed. Like waves. Sleep came fitful. Station alerts pinged twice. Siley rose each time. Checked the panel. Returned. Dawn cycle lights brightened. She was already at the console, brewing a steaming mug from a wall dispenser. Guest awakens, Case Unit 3 chimed from its charging dock. Saley turned. Offered the mug. Nectar blend.
Human compatible.
Tested.
Evan accepted. Sipped.
Tart, energizing. Thanks. She watched him drink, crest tilted. Boundary holds. No breach. Works for me.
He handed it back.
Director Frail approved the mix-up. Director logs all. Awaits report. She tapped her slate. Cache unit error. Parsed room. As host sanctum. Context fail.
Evan chuckled. Drone's gonna drone. Cache word indignantly.
Unit 3 optimizes. Human idiom noted. Saley stepped to the line. Pointed at his crates. Guest fortifies corner. Efficient. Engineer habit. He packed his sack. We improvise. Her eyes lingered. Vorn adapts to. Protocol bends for competence. Door unsealed. Director Haral's voice crackled over comms. Officer Vorn. Human status? Secure, she replied. Boundary established. Evan shouldered his gear. Crossed the threshold first. She followed. Corridor bustled. Crew nodded to Saley. Stared at him. Cash trailed. Unit 3 logs. Trust metric rising. Evan glanced back. Siley's scales shimmered green. She met his gaze. Held it. Next cycle, she said. Joint assignment. No lines needed. He grinned. Solve it together. Her crest flared bright. They walked side by side. But as they turned the corner, Case Unit 3 glitched. Lights stuttered. Alert. Quarters reassignment. Siley's hand shot to her sidearm. Evans went to his toolkit. Something stirred in the vents. Evan slammed his toolkit open. Metal clanged against the corridor deck. The vent grate rattled harder. Dust puffed out. Sayeli's sidearm hissed free. Her crest flared red. Breach protocol. Hold position. Case Unit 3 spun in circles. Reassignment complete. Human Rook. S7. Protection radius enforced. Evan's fingers closed on a multi-tool. He scanned the vent. No eyes. No claws. Just a loose panel vibrating from station hum. False alarm. Air cycler glitch. She lowered her weapon a fraction, eyes locked on the grate. Confirm. He pried the panel with a quick twist. Exposed wiring flickered. A jammed filter spun wild. Evan yanked it free. Debris clattered. The rattle died. Solly's scales shifted to yellow. Efficiency noted. Cache beeped. Log. Human competence plus 12%. Radius active. Evan sealed the panel. Shouldered his gear again. Map now. Show me guest bunks. She blocked the corridor fork. Body squared across the exit.
Negative. Protection radius 5 meters.
Guest remains within. Evan stopped short. Her scales brushed his arm pack. Close. Too close for strangers. Nearest bunks. I fixed this mix-up myself. Slate glowed in her grip. Protocol 4.2. Exchange guests under officer custody. Director Frail mandates. Radius holds until clearance. He met her gaze. Steady. No panic. We're solving problems, not starting wars. Map? Case hovered between them. Query. Human seeks relocation. Sanctum Vorn. 7 optimal. 98% secure. Evan ignored the drone, pulled his own slate, synced it to hers with a tap. Overlay guest quarters, nearest ones. Saley hesitated. Crest flickered green. She swiped. A holographic grid bloomed. Corridor snaked. Guest bunks clustered 2 decks down. Red line pulsed around her sanctum. Marked. Radius violation risks liability. Liability? Evan traced the path. 20 minutes walk.
Efficient? Directors worried about lawsuits? Breakage.
Injury. Protocol breach. Her voice sharpened. Humans improvise. Risky. He pocketed the slate. Noted. But cohabiting? We need rules. She crossed her arms. Scales rasped softly, blocked him solid. Propose. Evan held up fingers. 1. I stay in corner zone. Your side untouched. 2. Alert before crossing midline. 3. No surprises. We sync shifts. Her eyes narrowed. Crest pulsed. Test claims. She tapped her slate. List projected. Hollow text scrolled in dual script. Forbidden. Touch crest adornments. Enter hydration alcove unannounced. Consume Vorn rations without scan. Breach scent barriers. Evan scanned it. Literal. Precise. Alien logic. Clear. Admine. Not before entry. No scanning my gear without ask. Privacy zone respected. Privacy? Her crest spiked orange. Request logged as potential breach. Perimeter scan required for security.
He raised hands, open.
Calm. Not hiding. Just space. Humans need it to recharge. Cache word. Cultural note. Human privacy equates to isolation vulnerability.
Illogical.
Siley stepped aside a fraction. Not enough. Counter. Radius protects.
Breach denied.
Evan exhaled. Picked his battles. Compromise. Labels first. No mix-ups. He knelt. Unzipped a side pouch. Pulled marker and tape. English and trade script. Quick strokes on strips. Stuck it on his crate. Panel. Hydration. Pointed to hers. Label yours too? Her scales shimmered. Watched his hands. Precise. No waste. Adaptive.
She took the marker. Crest eased.
Mirrored him. Alcove. Private. Rest slab. Vorn. Console. Duty. Evan nodded. Posted his on every drawer.
Every panel, Corner claimed.
Line reinforced with tape. Visual rules. No drone fails. Cache scanned. Labels optimize. Error rate minus 47%. Saley straightened. Radius held. But her stance softened. Schedule sync. Next cycle. Joint maintenance. Radius expands to task zone. Evan shouldered final crate. Crossed his own line. Tested it. She didn't flinch. They walked. Her pace matched his. Crew parted. Whispers followed.
Kesh trailed, quiet for once. Back at Sanctum Hatch.
It sealed behind them.
Scent of tart brew lingered. Evan dropped gear in corner.
Mapped power feeds. Plugged in his charger. Shift 1. Unpack. You duty. Affirm.
She pinged her slate. Director's voice crackled.
Vorn. Human secured. Radius stable. Labels posted. Schedule proposed. Saley's eyes flicked to Evan. Watched him sort tools. Neat rows. Report anomalies. Human labels. Competence high. Crest green. Tinged. Haral grunted. Monitor. No breakage. Line went dead. Evan glanced up. Caught her stare. What? Action matches words. She tapped a label. Efficient boundary. He grinned. Small. Trust the process. She turned to console. But paused. Crest flared soft blue. First time he'd seen that shade. Cache beeped softly. Trust metric, 68%. Rising. Evan unpacked medkit. Labeled it. Ignored the drone. Focused on her back. Scales caught light. Relaxed posture. Progress. Hydration alcove hummed. Steam wisped. She emerged. Towel draped. Avoided his zone. Precise. Your turn. She nodded. Crest, neutral. Evan grabbed kit. Crossed midline. Pinged slate first. Clear. Affirm. Watched him pass. No block. Water hit hot. Alien minerals tinged it sharp. Refreshed.
He dressed quick.
Emerged. She waited at console. Slate down. Schedule. Rest cycle approaches. Radius contracts. Got it. He hit his slab. Corner firm. Pulled blanket. Lights dimmed. Her side went dark first. Breathing evened. Steady rhythm. Evan stared at ceiling plates. Alien hum vibrated through. Not home, but workable. Cache powered down in corner dock. Silent. Sleep tugged. Trust, building. One label at a time. Morning cycle blared soft chime. Evan stirred. Sat up. SAEHEA, duty. Slate pinged. Her message, maintenance bay 4, radius required. Labeled breakfast pack. Human ration. Stuck at visible. Hatch unsealed.
She stood outside, scales fresh polished.
Move. Corridor bustle hit. Crew nodded sharper now. Less stairs. Cache reactivated. Joint task. Optimal. Bay 4 loomed. Panel sparked. Filter clog. Standard fix. Evan pulled tools. Divide. You scan logs. I clear lines. Crest green.
He dove in.
Wrenches turned smooth. Debris evacuated. Human muscle won the jammed bolt. Saili logged anomalies. Precise swipes. Pattern cyclers overload at peak. Cross-reference human stations.
He wiped hands. Predictive fix.
Protocol update. Team effort.
He handed her a spare filter, labeled.
She took it. Scales brushed his glove. Lingered second longer. Cache word. Bond metric spike. Director Haral comment in. Status. Clog cleared. Saeli reported. Human method. Improvise predict. Liability low. Continue. They finished. Bay hummed. Clean. Back to sanctum. Evan requested map again. Guest bunks. Check clearance. Saeli blocked door. Crest flared. Privacy breach flagged. Radius holds.
He pushed gentle.
Solve it. Together. She held. Eyes locked on his. Sally's crest pulsed yellow caution. She stepped back. Unsealed the sanctum hatch. Enter. Radius contained. Evan crossed the threshold. Air thickened instantly.
Humidity spiked. His throat seized.
Cough ripped out, harsh and wet. He staggered.
Vision blurred. Lungs burned like he'd inhaled steam. Saley whirled. Slapped an emergency mask over his face. Seal hissed tight. Biological incident. Cache. Log breach. Evan gasped through the filter. Cool. Dry oxygen flooded in. He steadied against the bulkhead. World sharpened. Cache Unit 3 buzzed from its perch. Alert. Human vitals dip. Humidity at 85%. Siley optimal.
Siley's claws clicked on her slate.
Protocol isolate pathogen. Quarantine guest.
Evan yanked the mask loose, coughed once more.
Just too damp. Human lungs dry out. Crest flared red. Sanctum calibrated crew standard. You invade my radius, now reject air? Evan straightened, wiped his mouth, scanned the vents. Low hum, misting fine. Adapting wrong. Fix it. Her eyes narrowed, scales along her neck rippled tension. Fix? Director Haral approves changes? Call him. Evan knelt by the vent panel, popped it open. Wires tangled, sensors glowed. Essayli hesitated, tapped comm. Director, human in distress. Sanctum air. Hral's voice crackled. Liability? Evacuate. Assess. Humidity dial jammed high. Her comfort. His choke pulled a multi-tool. Snipped a relay. Bypassed manual. Sally loomed. Watched his hands. Reckless. He twisted wire. Dialed midpoint. 60%. Vents whooshed adjustment. Air lightened.
He breathed deep.
Clear. She inhaled sharp. Crest softened to green. Acceptable. Barely. Cache word closer. Scan complete. Human tolerance. Humidity 30. 70%. Crew 70%. 90%. Anomaly resolved.
Evan sealed the panel. Stood.
See? Midpoint works. Team solve. Siley's gaze lingered on the bypass. Claws flexed. Risky. Routine for me. He shrugged. Earth stations glitch. She pulled a med scanner from her belt. Aimed at his chest. Blue light swept. Verify no damage. Data scrolled her slate. Her crest twitched. Lungs clear, but humans endure 40% variance? Crew limits 15%. Evan nodded. Flexible baseline. Evolution thing. Dry worlds. Wet ones. We adjust. She lowered the scanner. Stepped closer. Radius breached by inches. Data conflicts protocol. Guests segregate. Not anymore. Evan eyed the single bunk. Her scales gleamed under lights. Split the air proper. Both comfortable.
Her eyes widened fraction.
Modify sanctum. Call him again. I rig ducks. You log. Report. Voice steady. Voice steady. Proposes dual flow. Species split. Pause. Efficiency? Liability? Optimal. Kesh chirped. On metric. Rising. Proceed. Monitor. Sayeli set her slate. Knelt beside Evan. Guide. He pointed. Main duct here. T-split. One line dry low, one humid high. Valves sync. Her claws pried panels precise. His wrench turned muscle fast. Debris cleared. Ducts rerouted. Sparks flew once. She flinched. He insulated quick. Steady. She nodded. Crest brushed his arm. Accidental. Lingered. Air split, his side crisp. Hers misty.
Evan tested, inhaled deep.
Gold. Sally leaned into her stream, eyes half closed. Relief. Crest full green. Kesh. Hovered. Harmony achieved. Trust vector. Positive. They rose. Sanctum hummed balanced. Per bunk loomed. Single slab scaled for her frame. Evan cleared throat. Guest bunk map? Still flagged? She blocked it again, but softer. Radius evolves. You prove. Door chime. Breakfast pack sat outside, labeled. Human ration. Saleli fetched it. Inspected. You prepare. For me? Trade. He took it back. No, she held firm. Tore open. Sniffed. Bit. Crunch. Her eyes lit. Protein dense. Acceptable. He grinned. Shared his bar. Plain oats. She nibbled cautious. Kesh buzzed. Cultural exchange. Log. Director Harrell's voice cut in.
Sanctum stable? Human contained?
Affirm, Saley replied. Crest high. Collaborator now. Watch breakage. Shift ends. Radius review. Com died. Evan unpacked tools. Next glitch. She shook head. Rest cycle. Stay. His pulse kicked. Forced proximity. Her space. Yeah. He nodded. Solve tomorrow's. She dimmed lights. Bunk edge cleared for him. Scales settled close. Heat radiated. Alien rhythm.
Evan lay back. Air perfect.
Her breathing synced slow. Crest glowed faint green. Watching. Morning chime pierced. Evan bolted up. Siley sighed empty again.
Slate pinged. Bay 7. Filter cascade.
He geared. Labeled snack. Saley fuel. Hatch opened. She waited. Scales polished sharper. Move. Corridor hummed. Crew salutes crisp. Kesh trailed. Productivity spike. Bay 7 smoked. Triple clogs. Evan dove. I wrench. Wrenches spun. Bolts yielded to human grip. Sayeli swiped data. Predict overload. Human method.
Install bypass grid. He handed spares.
Labeled. Her claws brushed deliberate. Held. Krell. Comment. Status? Cascade fixed, she reported. Voice proud. Evans grid prevents. Liability dropping.
Promote joint shifts.
Bay purred. Back to sanctum. Air split hummed. Bunk waited. Evan paused door. Radius update? She pulled him in. Hatch sealed. Expanded. Claws grazed his sleeve. Testing. He met her eyes. Steady. Case word soft. Intimacy threshold approaching. First time. Evan's hand hovered. Touched scale light. Warm. Alive. Breath misty. Human touch. Tolerable. More. Trust sealed. One breath at a time, but slate buzzed urgent. Hrawl. Quarantine breach. Human allergen loose.
Bay lockdown.
Claws gripped his arm. Protective. Evan tensed. Solve it. Together, Sally's claws clamped Evan's wrist like a vice. He stumbled mid-stride in the crowded corridor. Bodies surged around them, scaled limbs waving data slates, tails flicking signals. Case Unit 3 buzzed at his shoulder. Quarantine vector. Sector 4. Allergen dispersal confirmed.
Evan twisted free. Pain shot up his arm, but he kept his voice level.
Stop. That hurts.
Her crest flickered orange. Confusion. She released him, claws flexing. Protocol demands contact. Station traffic exceeds human drift threshold. Crew parted for her officer stripes. Evan rubbed his wrist. Red marks bloomed under the skin. He raised his open palm flat toward her chest, stepping back 2 paces. Human signal. Palm out means stop. No touch needed. Sayeli tilted her head. Scales along her neck gleamed under corridor lights. Demonstrate viability. Evan nodded. The flow thickened ahead, workers hauling filter crates toward the breach site. He held his palm steady, eyes locked on hers. She mirrored it, hesitating. A tail whipped close. See? Space works. Her claws twitched, unverified in density. They pushed into the market passage, stalls crammed the artery, vendors hawking glow fruit, venting steam from protein presses. Aromas clashed, sweet char, metallic tang. Drones zipped overhead, bartering in clipped bursts. Saley extended her palm. Challenge accepted. Follow my lead. Evan matched her pace. She wove without a glance back, crest steady green. He dodged a spilled crate, kept his distance. Trust her path. Cache word. Proximity optimal. A vendor lunged with a sample skewer. Evan palm stopped it clean. The alien blinked, retracted. Saley's tail tip curled approval. Human boundary holds. Protocol amendment pending. Evan grinned.
Teamwork.
Horns blared. Sector 4 junction loomed. Lockdown barriers half raised. Thrall's voice boomed from wall speakers. Vor. Rook. Contain the vector. Liability spikes if humans trigger Cascade 2. Saley's scales sharpened. Affirmative, Director. Evan scanned ahead. Panels hummed above, vibrating from rushed repairs. One sagged loose, bolts glinting wrong. Saley, down. He lunged. Shoulder slammed her side, shoved her clear. The panel crashed inches behind, shards scattering. Market froze. Eyes locked on him. She spun, claws half drawn. Crest blazed red.
Unsanctioned contact.
Evan dusted his hands. You'd have a cracked skull. Check the bolts. Worn out. Workers murmured. Saley knelt, probed the debris. Human reflex exceeds protocol scan. K-Shevered 87% impact zone. K-Shevered. Evan's intervention, 100% efficacy. Log for review. Haral ComEd Direct. Report.
Damage?
Prevented, Saley snapped.
Evan anticipated structural flaw.
My error. Liability neutral. Proceed to breach. Joint commendation if contained. Evan offered his palm again. Permission to proceed? Her claws sheathed slow. Crest softened to blue. Granted. Every instance. Air thickened, acrid, itching his throat. Allergen mist coiled from a vent grate.
Seals hissed faulty. Goal clear. Plug the leak before it spread station-wide.
Saley swiped her slate. Source: human ration packet rupture.
Cache misrouted storage. Context parse error. Apology subroutine engaged. Evan crouched at the grate. Bypass needed. Got sealant?
She handed a tube, claws pausing midair. Permission requested.
He nodded.
Go. Sealant oozed thick. Evan smeared it precise. Human fingers gripping fine. Mist slowed. Saley braced the panel. Human dexterity compensates claw limits. Predict seal integrity? 95%, he said. Test it. She tapped controls. Vent whined, held, air cleared. Cache chirped. Containment achieved. Kral notified. Director's voice crackled. Efficient. Promote Vorn-Rook pairing. Monitor for further innovations. Corridor cleared around them. Crew saluted sharper. Saley's gaze lingered on Evan's wrist marks. Boundary lesson internalized. Protection redefined. Consent first. Evan flexed his hand. Mutual. You lead protocols. I spot the brakes. Her tail brushed his boot. Deliberate. Light. No pull. Expanded radius confirmed. They turned back toward her sanctum. Market hum resumed. Keisha trailed quiet. Evan felt the shift. Not just survival. Partnership. Hatch sealed behind them. Air hummed perfect. Saley faced him, crest glowing intimate blue. Debrief? He stepped within arm's reach. Palms open. Permission to close distance? Granted. Claws grazed his sleeve. Testing soft. Human touch protocol. Tolerable. Escalating. Warmth spread from scale contact. Her breath misted close. Evan's hand rose steady. Touched her crest tip. It pulsed under his fingers. She leaned in. Trust metric. Optimal. One breath synced. Then her slate buzzed. New ping from Haral. Joint shift tomorrow. Prepare for immersion. Saley's claws tightened fraction. Protective again. Evan met her eyes.
Solve it together? Her crest flared brighter. Affirmative.
But cache word urgent. Immersion includes private quarters protocol. Risk of further mix-up. Private space. Again.
Siley pulled him closer.
We redefine. Her lips, scaled warm, hovered near his. Trust sealed deeper, one misunderstanding at a time. Station lights dimmed for cycle end. But the real test loomed. Siley slid the hatch open. She knelt before Evan, claws extended. A curved blade gleamed in her grip, ceremonial etched with habitat runes. Host bond token. Accept. Seal's protection pact. Evan crouched to her level. The blade's edge caught station light sharp enough to slice scale or skin. He kept palms visible. Honored. But humans skip blades for bonds. He unzipped his kit pouch, pulled out a steel thermos, matte black. This. Coffee. Our ritual brew. Her crest flickered yellow. Query mode. Weapon denied? Liquid substitute? Kesh Unit 3 hovered close, lenses whirring.
Translation. Coffee, human stimulant.
Low hazard per scans. Proceed? Siley sheathed the blade at her belt, stood tall. Protocol adapts. Goal clear. Match her gesture, build bridge. He twisted the thermos cap. Steam rose, bitter-rich scent filling the sanctum. Compact brewer from his kit hummed to life. Pods slotted, water heated in seconds. Black liquid poured into 2 mugs. He handed her one. Sip slow. Warms trust. She gripped the mug. Claws clicked ceramic. Inhaled deep. Aroma. First sip hit. Her tail lashed once. Pupils dilated.
Stimulant profile. Exceeds estimates.
Evan sipped his own. Steady warmth spread. Hits quick, calms the mind for humans. Your read? Siley's crest pulsed orange, alert, rising. Mug trembled in her claws. Neural spike, heart rhythm elevates.
Lockdown protocol.
She slammed the hatch seal. Bolts hissed shut. Bolted across the room. Scales rattling. Evan set his mug down. No panic. Observed. Her breaths came shallow, tail coiled tight. Stimulant crash. Aliens processed caffeine different. Cache scans missed the variants. Focus here. He tapped his wrist chrono. Breathe with me. In 4. Hold 4. Out 8. Claws scraped bulkhead. Containment breach imminent. Human toxin. Not toxin. Evan filled a basin from the recycler spout. Cool water rushed. He plunged his hands in first, then beckoned. Hands in. Cools the surge. Goal, ground her fast. Conflict. Her literal protocol screamed isolate threat. He stayed calm, voice even. Trust the fix. Seen it before. Crew reactions vary. Kesh buzzed overhead. Error. My parsing failed again. Caffeine sensitivity unlogged for Vorn species. Siley halted, met his eyes. Dipped claws into the basin. Water splashed. Steam from her scales hissed faint. Temperature delta. Stabilizing. Breaths synced to his count. In 4. Hold. Out 8. Evan timed it.
30 cycles. Her crest shifted green. Steady.
Progress. Metric. 60% nominal. She withdrew hands. Dripped dry on a towel mat. Stepped closer. No bolt. Human remedy effective. Blade reciprocity accepted. He dried his own hands. Felt the air shift. Tighter space, shared rhythm. Cuts tension, not flesh. Her tail tip brushed his calf. Light pressure. Bond refined. Private quarters now secure. Mug reclaimed. She sipped again. Half dose. Crest glowed soft blue. Evan leaned against the prep station. Sanctum hummed quiet. Her space. Minimalist bunks stacked vertical. Glow panels tuned to habitat sim lights, scent of ozone, and scale oil. His kit sat unpacked corner. Temporary claim. Tomorrow's immersion test. Prall's ping. What's the play? Siley set mud down. Claws flexed. Full habitat sim. You interface core systems. Risk boundary overlaps. She tapped her slate. Hollow projected. Station grid. Red zones pulsing. Private nodes. Like this sanctum. Cache's prior error repeated. Cache dipped low. Probability. 12%. Upgrading context parser. Fingers brushed hers on the hollow. No pullback. We prep protocols. You flag alien norms. I map human gaps. Team solve. Her gaze locked. Pupils even. Protective radius expands. Claws covered his hand. Scaled warmth pressed. Test includes biosync. Physical calibration.
He nodded.
Pulse steady under her touch. Calibrate how? Contact immersion. She rose. Pulled him to the bunk ledge. Sat close, thigh to thigh, scale to uniform. Baseline. Heart rates align. Her crest leaned near his shoulder. Breath ghosted his neck.
Human norm. Evan matched posture. Arm draped bench back, near but not crowding.
Close works. Build sync. Felt her heat radiate. Higher core temp. Alien trait. His skin prickled response. Trust metric climbing. Slate pinged. Vorn. Human asset status? Integration viable or liability? Sayeli stiffened. Claws dug mad edge. Director. Rook, operational. Coffee ritual completed. Bond secured.
Thrall grunted.
Coffee, unlogged substance. Liability form filed. Dawn cycle, Simbay. No breaks. Evan spoke up. Director. Human standard. Boosts focus. We'll log it.
Pause.
Bold input, soft skin. Vorn, leash him. Or, I reassign. Sayeli's tail coiled Evan's boot. Protective coil. Negative. Partnership model. Results pending sim. Link, cut. Silence settled. Evan exhaled. Leash? Your call? She turned. Face inches. Lips parted. Scaled. Fine ridges. No leash.
Equals.
Crest flared intimate blue. Hand rose. Traced his jaw. Claws retracted full. Human resilience. Extraordinary. Adapts my errors. He caught her wrist. Gentle hold. Your discipline holds the line. My fixes fill cracks. Thumb stroked scale. Smooth, warm pulse beneath. Breath synced again. Her free hand pressed his chest. Felt his heartbeat. Biosync. Optimal. Leaned fraction closer. Lips hovered. Question in her eyes. Evan tilted head. Met halfway. First contact. Soft pressure, alien texture yielding. No rush. Tasted faint coffee tang on her. She hummed low. Crest blazed. Pulled back slow. Protocol evolved. Intimate bond logged.
Cache word discreet. Recording for archives?
Privacy override. Stand down. Sayeli waved it off. Tail unwound. Cycle end rest. Tomorrow. Prove it. Evan stretched on the bunk edge. Shared space now? Wait call set? Affirmative. She dimmed panels. Glow faded to night sim. Starfield hollow on ceiling. Lay beside. Scale to fabric. Divide blurring. Sleep tugged. But Keisha's lens glinted. Alert. Simbay has unlogged private node. Prowl's private cache. Sayeli's breath even beside him. Private node. Prowl's? Mix-up, primed. She stirred. Claws found his arm. Issue? Tomorrow's real test. He squeezed back. Prowl's secrets. We uncover? Crest glowed. Together. Hatch lights outside flickered. Station cycle turning. Immersion waited. One locked door from chaos. Director Hrol's voice boomed from the wall panel. Vorn.
Rook! Report to quartermaster deck!
Now. Bunk creaked under him. Sally's scales brushed his arm as she swung her legs down. Crest flickered amber. Alert mode. Kesh, she snapped. Habitat log. Quarters breach flagged. Drone word from corner perch. Affirmative. Violation timestamp. Cycle 47.2. Human ingress unauthorized. Evan pulled on boots. Our fix incoming. Sayeli nodded. Tail flicked once. She donned officer vest. Snaps clicked, precise. Protocol demands accountability. They marched through dim corridors. Station hummed low. Air recyclers whispered. Cache trailed. Lenses spinning. Kralo's chamber doors hissed open. The quartermaster loomed behind a console, bulkier than Sayeli, frills rigid. 4 arms tapped screens. Eyes narrowed on them.
Explain. Thrall's voice grated like gravel.
Private quarters breached. Human and Vorn's nest space. Liability cascade imminent. Sayeli's claws extended half. She stepped forward. I accepted guest post error. Kesh unit parsed quarters wrong. Kesh bobbed. Context error. Human roommate equated to shared birth.
87% confidence.
Heral's frills flared red. Irrelevant.
Protocol, separate now. Reassign Rook to cryobunk overflow.
Evan raised a hand. Calm.
Measured.
We adapt. Mistake happened. Solution. Formalize it. Crest pulsed blue. Curiosity. Her gaze locked his. Host bond terms, Evan continued. Cultural Exchange Clause, Section 12.4. Trial cohabitation. Builds trust. Proves compatibility. Horrible leaned forward. Console lights reflected off his scales. Bold, human.
You presume our protocols bend?
Not bend. Evolve. Evan met the stare. Humans solve mismatches. Turn errors to assets. Data. 0 incidents in our shared space. Biosync optimal. Saley's tail brushed his calf. Subtle anchor. Full responsibility mine. Request continued assignment under bond.
Crawl-drummed claws. Scan the hollow display.
Precedent thin. Humans unpredictable.
Break equipment. Ignore boundaries.
Evan shrugged. We fix what breaks. Collaborate, silence, stretched. Jiral's frills settled gray. Demonstration required. Compatibility test. Deck 9. Hatch, jammed, seals. Structural fault. Repair under observation. Matched timing or separation enforced. Saley's claws retracted. Accepted. Kesh chimed. Task logged. Tools dispatched. They exited. Corridor lights brightened to work cycle. Saley's stride matched Evan's. Seamless. Strategy? She asked. Voice low. You know seals. I improvise torque. Deck 9 reeked of ozone. Jammed hatch loomed. Massive, 10 meters wide. Inner ring station access. Seals warped from micrometeor grays. Hissing vents leaked Admo. Quiche hovered.
Observation live. Trawl feed active.
Metrics, sync score target 95%. Saley knelt. Claws traced seam. Primary lock fused. Secondary hydraulic bypass needed. Evan crouched beside. Toolkit clanked open. Leverage point here. He wedged pry bar. Muscles strained. Metal groaned. She synced. Tail coiled around bar base. Extra brace. Force vector optimal. Pushed with him. Hatch budged millimeter. Cycle it, Evan said. Saley punched override panel, but stuck, again. Evan scanned. Shim warped. Pulled multi-tool. Bent edge, filed smooth. Handed it over.
Her claws took it.
Precision scrape. Human edge sharper than ours. Inserted. Twisted, hatch hissed. Seals parted halfway. Kesh beeped. Sync 82%. Accelerate. Evan wiped sweat. Felt her warmth radiate. Power cycle. Your lead. Saley nodded. Claws flew over panel, rerouted auxiliary, boost engaged. Grabbed his offered hand, pulled him into tandem lift.
They heaved.
Shoulders touched. Breath synced, ragged. Hatch ground open, full extension. Seals clicked home, Atmo pressure equalized. Green lights flashed. Cache word triumph. Sync 98%. Matched timing. 2.47 seconds deviation. Test passed. Crest blazed violet. Claws grazed his palm, lingered. Evan exhaled. Teamwork.
Rolls.
Voice crackled. Logged. Cohabitation approved. Trial exchange program. Vorn Rook unit. Report anomalies. Doors beyond hatch beckoned. Saley's eyes sharpened. Hral's private node. There. Evan nodded. Our edge. They stepped through. Kesh trailed oblivious. Simbay sprawled. Holo grids flickered. Central console pulsed red. Unlocked access port winked. Saley approached. Tail swept floor sensors. Security weave.
Multi-layer.
Fingers traced ports. Human hack. Analog bypass. Pulled wire spool from kit. Stripped ends. Probed. Sparks danced. Console beeped. Query. Match pulse, he said.
She pressed palm to bioscanner. Crest synced glow.
Authenticating. Screen bloomed. Files scrolled. Quarters logs. Human assignment overrides. Hidden directive. Isolate exchange subjects. Observe resilience. Evan's jaw tightened. Test run deeper. Commas watching us close. Saley's claws flexed. Protective measure. Or control. Kesh spun. Alert. Cache accessed. Privacy breach. Stand down, they said together. Her hand found his shoulder. Squeeze firm. Bond holds. We expose or adapt. Evan stood. Pulled her close, foreheads touched, scale to skin. Together. Crest warmed against him. Violet deepened. Hatch behind. Sealed. Bay hummed alive. Station secrets cracked open. Their program just ignited. Evan slapped the console panel shut. Sparks faded. Saili's crest pulsed steady Violet beside him. Case Unit 3 word forward. Directive update. Quartermaster Frawl assigns official quarters. Human Exchange Tech Rook. Deck 7, Unit 14B. Keycard dispatched. A slot hissed open. Evan caught the slim card. It hummed warm against his fingers. Bio-locked, clean scan. Saili tilted her head. Claws tapped her thigh plate. Protocol shift? Atrologs? Cohabitation but isolates now? Evan thumbed the card's edge. Test layers. He watches splits too.
He met her gaze, scales gleamed under bay lights.
We play it smart. Her tail flicked once. Follow. I escort. They exited the sim bay. Kesh trailed, lenses spinning, corridors branched, bulkheads hummed with station pulse. Crew nodded at Saili. Her officer bars caught light. Deck 7 loomed. Air grew thicker, scented with mineral vents. Doors lined the hall, each etched with crest sigils. Saili's stride slowed at Unit 14B. Panel glowed neutral blue. She raised a claw. Evan Rook, enter here. Standard guest mat deploys on scan. Evan halted. Card weighed heavy in his grip. He scanned her face, eyes sharp, crest subdued. The hidden directive burned fresh. Isolate. Observe. Not this time. He stepped past her, ignored 14B, continued to the next panel. Hers, Unit 14A. Sigil matched her bars. Saili's claws snagged his sleeve. Stop. That seal's private. Officer quarters. Guests barred. Held her stare. Request denied. He pressed the guest card into her open palm. Skin met scale. Warm, rough. I choose yours. By consent. Not error. Her crest flared orange. Pupils slit wide. Evan, protocol, overrides logged. He nodded at Cache. Right drone? Cache bobbed. Query, consent phrase ambiguous. Context parsing at 72%. Saili's claws closed around the card. Lingered. You select my space. Willingly.
Yes.
Trust built in sim. Deeper now. Together. Crest shifted. Orange to violet. She slotted the card. Panel chimed green.
Access granted. Vorn Rook unit.
Door irised open. Quarters unfolded. Compact, efficient. Sleep platform dominated one wall. Low, padded with woven fibers. Consoles lined the other. Screens dormant. Air carried her scent. Clean ozone. Faint spice. Saili swept inside. Tail coiled precise. She yanked a storage panel. Pulled his guest mat. Thin roll, auto-inflate. Unrolled it beside her platform. Edge, touched edge. Proximity standard for units. Heat vents shared. Evan dropped his kit bag. Unzipped. Good. Efficient. He knelt, smoothed the mat. Fibers hummed alive under him. Firm support. Cache hovered at the threshold. Alert, translation cache updated. Cohabitation phrases required. Evan glanced up. Yeah. Pull your file. He tapped his wrist comm. Uploaded the corrected packet. Hours of SIN tweaks. Human idioms. Alien protocols. No more mix-ups like the bath chamber. Cache's lenses word.
Downloaded. Parsing at 94%.
Test. Choose her door on purpose. Affirmative intent. No error flag. Saili watched from her platform edge. Claws flexed on the pad. Bath incident. Your comm fixed it. Trust initiated. Evan stood. Tested the mat. Solid. Humans adapt. You protect. Works.
He faced her full. Room felt smaller.
Her tail brushed his boot. Accidental. She rose. Crest glowed soft. Frail monitors. Anomalies report due dawn cycle. Let him. Evan unpacked his toolkit. Wires, probes, neat rows.
We log clean. Expose the isolate directive later.
Cache pinged. Privacy mode engaged. Station feed muted. Padded to a wall vent. Twisted a control. Warm air bloomed. Dry heat. Easing his skin. Human tolerance low. Adjusts now. Evan exhaled. Tension uncoiled. Thanks. He sat on the mat. Legs stretched. Her platform loomed close. Fibers dented from her weight. She lowered beside him. Not on her pad. On the floor line between. Shoulder scales brushed his arm. Boundary query. Proximity discomfort? No. His pulse steadied. Rough texture grounded him. Shared space builds teams. Cress warmed violet brighter. Voran clan trains separate. Trust earned in trials. Claw traced the matte edge. Stopped at his hand. Hesitated, touched knuckles light.
You earn fast. Evan turned palm up.
Invited. Her claws settled, gentle pressure. Scales parted soft under tips. Practical choice. Your skills cover what mine, miss. Cache dimmed lights. Rest cycle advised. Anomaly scan complete. Drone docked in a wall niche. Clicked off. Room hushed. Vents whispered. Siley's breathing synced slow rhythmic hiss. Evan leaned back. Wall cool against spine. Her weight shifted. Tail curled loose. Tip grazed his ankle. Directive deeper, she murmured. HRL tests resilience. Splits fail prior exchanges. We won't. He squeezed her claws. Solved the sim. Solved this.
Eyes met. Hers gleamed gold-flecked.
Intimate unit. Biological logs required. Evan's throat tightened. Human norms clashed. Blunt alien directness. No logs till we say. Crest pulsed propel. She rose fluid. Stepped to her platform. Paused. Matt links vents.
Heat shares equal.
He nodded. Stretched out. Matt conformed. Perfect fit. She dimmed her side further.
Slipped under fibers. Form outlined. Longer limbs. Tail coil visible.
Good cycle, Evan Rook. He closed eyes. Her presence anchored the hum. Sleep tugged. Station secrets waited dawn. But trust sealed the door. Morning klaxon pierced vents. Evan snapped awake. Saley's platform rustled. Cache reactivated. Anomaly. Quarters log tampered.
Saoi bolted up.
Crest blazed red. Claws gripped her console. Respond. Evan rolled off Matt. Kit open in seconds. Trace it. Together, console flared live. Hidden ping traced back. Haral's node. Direct. Evan probed ports. He's pushing. Now. Siley's palm slammed biolock. Screen cracked open. Liability test. We counter. Claws met his fingers. Bond tightened.
Door chime demanded entry.
Rail's voice boomed. Report. Isolation breach. Evan grinned. Choose your answer. Saeli's crest steadied violet. Unit intact. Advance. They faced the panel. Hatch, irised. Director Hayrall filled the frame. Bulkier frame, quartermaster stripes, stark. Eyes narrowed at the shared mats. Vorn. Explain override. Saeli stood tall. Consent logged. Rook selected. Per trial parameters. Guest card in officer palm. Error. Held up his command to trace. Purpose. Fixed cage parse. No breach. Drone bobbed. 94% confirmation. Hrail scanned mats. Proximity noted. Heat sink. Saley flexed claws. Pending unit decision. Resilience holds. Director grunted. Crest flickered yellow. Anomalies minimal. Proceed. But quarters audit dawn 2.
He pivoted. Bulk swallowed by corridor.
Door sealed. Close. Saley's hand clamped his shoulder. Squeeze fierce. You anticipated. Team. He packed probes.
Next layer?
Her tail brushed deliberate.